When I cast my mind back to that summer of 1936, different kinds of memories offer themselves to me. We got our first wireless set that summer. Well, a sort of a set. And it obsessed us. And because it arrived as August was about to begin, my Aunt Maggie, she was the joker of the family. She suggested we give it a name. She wanted to call it Lugh, after the old Celtic god of the harvest. Because in the old days, August the 1st was At Lughnasa, the feast day of the pagan god Lugh. And the days and weeks of harvesting that followed were called the Festival of Lughnasa. But Aunt Kate, she was a national school teacher and a very proper woman. She said it would be sinful to christen an inanimate object with any kind of a name, not to talk of a pagan god. So we just called it Marconi, because that was the name emblazoned on the set. And about 3 weeks before we got that wireless, my mother's brother, my Uncle Jack, came home from Africa for the first time ever. For 25 years he worked in a leper colony there, in a remote village called Rianga in Uganda. The only time he ever left that village was for about 6 months during World War I, when he was a chaplain to the British forces in East Africa. Then, back to that grim hospice, where he worked without a break for further 18 years. And now, in his early 50s and in bad health, he had come home to Ballybay, as it turned out, to die. And when I cast my mind back to that summer of 1936, these two memories of our first wireless and of Father Jack's return are always linked, so that when I recall my first shock at Jack's appearance shrunken and jaundiced with malaria, at the same time, I remember my first delight, indeed my awe at the sheer magic of that radio. And when I remember the kitchen throbbing with the beat of Irish dance music, beamed to us all the way from Athlone, and my mother and her sister suddenly catching hands and dancing a spontaneous step dance, laughing, screaming like excited schoolgirls. At the same time, I see that forlorn figure of Father Jack, shuffling from room to room as if he were searching for something, but couldn't remember what. And even though I was only a child of 7 at the time, I know I had a sense of unease, some awareness of a widening breach between what seemed to be and what was, of things changing too quickly before my eyes, of becoming what they ought not be. And that may have been because Uncle Jack hadn't turned out at all like their splendid figure in my head. Or maybe because I had witnessed Marconi's voodoo derange those kind, sensible women and transform them into shrieking strangers. Or maybe because during those Lughnasa weeks of 1936, we were visited on 2 occasions by my father, Cherry Evans, and for the first time in my life, I had the chance to observe him.
Enough to do you.
I'm gonna throw this old cracked thing out.
Indeed you're not, Chrissy. I'm the one that broke it, and the only way to avoid 7 years bad luck is to keep on using it.
You can see nothing in it except more and more wrinkles. Do you know what I think I might do? I think I might just start wearing lipstick. Do you hear this, Maggie?
Steady on, girls. Today it's lipstick, tomorrow it's the gin bottle.
I think I just might, as long as Kate's not around. Do you want to make a pagan of yourself? Far too pale. The old mousy hair need a bit of colour.
For? What indeed?
Make a nice dress that, wouldn't it?
God forgive me.
Will you come to Abyssinia? Will you come? In your round grip and saucer and a bun. Mussolini will be there with his airplanes in the air. Will you come to Abyssinia? Will you come? Not bad, Maggie, eh?
You should be on the stage, Rose.
Not a bad bit of leg, Maggie, eh?
Rose Mundy, where's your modesty? Is that not more like it?
Good, Maggie, good. Look, Agnes, look.
Right, fair pagans, you two are being.
Turn on Marconi, Chrissy.
I've told you a dozen times, the battery is dead.
It is not. It went for me a while ago. You see, take her, Rosie.
Hold you.
That offset's useless.
Kate to have a new battery back with her. It's the battery that's wrong.
Is that Abyssinia in Africa, Aggie?
Yes.
Is there a war there?
Yes, I told you that.
But that's not where Brother Jack was, is it?
Jack was in Uganda, Rosie. That's a different part of Africa. You know that.
Yes. I do. I know that.
Will you vote for David Lara? Will you vote? If you don't, you'll be like Gandhi with his goat. Uncle Bill from Botting Glass has a wireless up his. Will you vote for David Lara? Will you vote? I tell you something, Rosie. The pair of us should be on the stage.
The pair of us should be on the stage, Aggie.
What is that son of yours at out there?
God knows. As long as he's quiet.
He's making something. It looks like a kite. That is the wrong thing to do. Just going to have your hair, Chris.
Mine's like a wind bush.
Will you wash it for me tonight, Maggie?
Oh, we all for a big dance
After I
somewhere.
put Michael to bed. What about that?
Oh, I'm your man.
It's a pity there aren't some boys about to play with.
Oh, now you're talking. Couldn't we all do with that, Maggie? What you saying? It would be great if we had it. Shh.
What is it?
Thought I heard Father Jack at the back door. I hope Kate remembers his quinine.
She'll remember. Kate forgets nothing.
There's going to be pictures in the hall next Saturday, Aggie. I think maybe I'll go.
Yes.
I might be meeting somebody there.
Who's that?
I'm not saying.
Do we know him?
I'm not saying.
You'd enjoy that, Rosie. You loved the last picture we saw.
And he wants to bring me up to the back hills next Sunday, up to Lughnasa. His father has a boat up there. And I'm thinking maybe I'll bring a bottle of milk with me. And I even have money saved to buy a packet of chocolate biscuits.
Kenny Bradley is a Scotch
I never said it was Danny Bradley!
He's a married man with 3 young children.
And that's just where you're wrong, Missy. So there. She left him 6 months ago, Aggie. I went to England.
Roslove, we all
And you
discussed.
were even to talk Christina Mundy. How dare you lecture me?
Everyone in town was a
And
Danny
you're
Bradley
jealous
too.
That's what's wrong with the whole of you. You're jealous of me. He called me his rosebud, Aggie. He waited for me outside the chapel gate last Christmas morning, and he gave me this. That's for my rosebud, he said.
Is it a fish, Rosie?
Isn't it lovely? It's made of pure silver, and it brings you good luck.
It is lovely.
I wear it all the time, beside my miraculous medal. I love you, Maggie.
I know.
Bastard!
Summertime was nearly over. Blue Italian skies above. I said, Mister, I'm a rover. Can't you spare a sweet word of love?
For God's sake, I have an iron in there.
I was like, you know,
Well, don't you see me ironing? I lost it. Get out of my road, will you?
Oh,
love, would you give me a hand with this? If we don't work a bit faster, we'll never get 2 dozen pairs finished this week.
What are these supposed to be?
Kites.
Kites? God, help your wit.
Watch where you're walking at, Maggie. You're standing on a tail.
Oh, did it squeal? Ah! I'll make a deal with you, cub. I'll give you a penny if those old things ever get off the ground. Right?
You're on.
Oh, I've a new riddle for you.
Give up.
What goes round the house and sits in the corner? A broom. Why is a river like a watch?
You're pathetic.
Because it never goes far without winding. Hurry out and hurry in. Lift your foot and stab it in. What is it?
Give up.
Think.
Give up.
Have you even one brain in your head?
Give up.
A sock.
A what?
A sock. A sock, you know. Lift your foot and stab it. Do you know what your trouble is, cub? You're buck stupid.
Look out! There's a rat!
Where? Jesus, Mary, Joseph, what is it?
Caught you again, Aunt Maggie.
You evil wee brat. God forgive you. I'll get you for that, Michael. Don't you worry. I won't forget that. And I had a boiling sugar sweet for you.
cigarette tobacco stuck to it.
Jesus Christ, someday you're going to fill some woman's life full of happiness. There, I hope it chokes you.
When I saw Uncle Jack for the first time, the reason I was so shocked by his appearance was that I expected, well, I suppose the hero from a schoolboy's book. Once, I had seen a photograph of him, radiant and splendid in his officer's uniform. It had fallen out of Aunt Kate's prayer book, and she snatched it from me before I could study it in detail. It was a picture taken in 1917, when he was a chaplain to the British forces in East Africa, and he looked magnificent. But Aunt Kate had been involved locally in the War of Independence, so Father Jack's brief career in the British Army was never referred to in that house. All the same, the wonderful Father Jack of that photo was the image of him that lodged in my mind. But if he was a hero to me, he was a hero and a saint to my mother and to my aunts. They pored over his occasional letters. They prayed every night for him, and for his lepers, and for the success of his mission. They scraped and saved for him. 6 pence here, a shilling there. Sacrifices they made willingly, joyously, so that they would have a little money to send to him at Christmas and for his birthday. And every so often, when a story would appear in the Donegal Inquirer about our own leper priest, as they called him, because Ballybeg was proud of him, the whole of Donegal was proud of him. It was only natural that our family would enjoy a small share of that fame. It gave us a little bit of status in the eyes of the parish. And it must have helped my aunt bear the shame mother brought on the household by having me, as it was called then, out of wedlock.
Well, that's what I call a busy man. Come here and give your Aunt Kate a big kiss. What's all this? It's a kite, is it?
It's 2 kites.
Oh, it certainly is. 2 kites. And they're the most wonderful kites I've ever seen. And what are these designs?
Their faces, I painted them.
Oh, good Lord, they put the heart across me. You did those? Oh, God bless us, those are scarifying. What are they, devils? Ghosts? Wouldn't like to see those lads up in the sky looking down at me. Hold on now. Do you know what this is? Of course you do. A spinning top. Good boy. And this is the whip. You know how to use it. Indeed you do. What do you say?
Thanks.
Thank you, Aunt Kate. And you know what I have in here? A new library book with colored pictures. We'll begin reading it at bedtime. Call me the moment you're ready to fly them. I wouldn't miss that for all the world. Do you see what he's at out there? Did you see Christina making 2 kites?
Some kites he'll make.
All by himself, no help from anybody.
She always said he was talented, Kate.
No question about that. Very mature for his years.
Very cheeky for his ears.
I think he's beautiful, Chris. I wish he was mine.
Is that a spinning top he has?
It's nothing.
Oh, Kate, you have him spoiled. Where did you get it?
Morgan's Arcade.
And I'm sure he didn't even thank you.
I know why you went to Morgan.
He did indeed. He's very mannerly.
You wanted to see Austin Morgan.
Every field along the road.
Because
They're all out of the hay and the corn.
You have a notion that Austin
It's going to
Morgan.
be a good harvest by the look of it.
I know you have. She's blushing. Look, isn't she
You
blushing?
need to put a stitch in that hem, Rosie.
What you don't know is that he's going with this wee young thing from Carrick back.
Rose, what Austin Morgan does
Why
or
are you
doesn't
blushing
do.
then? She's blushing, isn't she? Why?
For God's sake, Rose, shut up, would you?
Anyhow, we all know.
Rosie, pass me those needles. Would you please? Are you tired?
Road from the town gets longer every day. You can laugh if you want, but I am going to get that old bike fixed up. And I am going to learn to ride this winter.
Many about Ballybeg.
Ballybeg's off its head. I'm telling you. Everywhere you go, everyone you meet, it's the one topic. Are you going to the harvest dance? Who are you going with? What are you wearing? This year is going to be the biggest ever and the best ever.
All the same, I remember some great harvest dances. Don't we all?
Another of those riveting Annie M.P. Smithson novels for you, Agnes.
Oh, thanks.
The Marriage of Nurse Harding. Oh, dear. For you, Christina, 1 teaspoonful every morning before breakfast.
What's this?
Cod liver oil. You're far too pale.
Thank you, Kate.
Because you take no exercise. Anyhow, I'm in the chemist shop, and this young girl, this wee slip of a thing, can't even remember her name. Her mother's the knitting agent that buys her gloves, Agnes.
Vera McLaughlin.
Her daughter, whatever you call her.
Sophia?
Miss Sophia, who must be all of 15. She comes up to me and she says, I hope you're not going to miss the harvest dance, Miss Mundy. It's going to be just supreme this year. And honest to God, if you'd seen the delight in her eyes, you'd think it was heaven she was talking about. I'm telling you, off its head. Like a fever in the place. That's the quinine. The doctor says it won't cure the malaria, but it might help to contain it. Is he in his room?
Oh, he's wandering out about the back somewhere.
I told the doctor you thought him very quiet, Agnes.
Yes.
Well, didn't you? And the doctor says we must remember how strange everything here must be to him after so long. And on top of that, Swahili has been his language for 25 years. So that it's not that his mind is confused. It's just that he has difficulty finding the English words for what he wants to say.
No matter what the doctor says, Kate, his mind is a bit confused. Sometimes he doesn't know the difference between us. I've heard him calling you Rose, and he keeps calling me some strange name like...
Okawa?
That's it. That's it, Aggie. You've heard him before, haven't you?
Okawa was his houseboy. He was very attached to him. I think I'm getting corns in this foot. I hope to God I don't end up crippled like poor mother. May she rest in peace.
Wouldn't it be a good one if we all went?
Went where?
To the harvest dance.
Aggie.
Just like we used to, all dressed up. I think I'd go.
I'd go too, Aggie. I'd go with you.
For heaven's sake, you're not serious, Agnes. Are you?
I think I am.
Ha! There's more than Ballybeg off its head.
Oh, I think we should all go.
Have you any idea what it would be like? Crawling with cheeky young brats that I taught years ago.
I'm game.
We couldn't, Aggie. Could we?
And all the riffraff of the countryside.
I'm game.
God, you know I love dancing, Aggie.
What do you say?
You have a 7-year-old child. Have you forgotten that?
You can wear that blue dress of mine. You have the figure for it, and it brings out the color of your eyes.
Can I have it? God, Aggie, I could dance non-stop all night. All week. All month.
Then who look after Father
And
Jack?
you look great in that cotton dress you got for confirmation last year. Oh, you're beautiful in it, Kate.
Sort of silly.
And you can wear my
talk.
brown shoes with the crossover straps.
This is silly talk, Agnes. We can't, Agnes. How can we?
Will Aggie come with us? Aggie, what? Try and stop her.
Oh, God, Agnes, what do you think?
We're going.
Are we?
We're off.
Oh, maybe we're mad. Are we mad?
That's $1.60 to get in.
I'm £5 saved. I'll take you. I'll take us all.
Hold on now.
How many years has it been since we were to harvest dance? That's any dance. I don't care how young they are, how drunk and dirty and sweaty they are. I want to dance, Kate. It's the festival of Lughnasa, and I'm only 35. I want to dance.
I know, Agnes. I know.
It's settled. We're going. The Monday girls, all 5 of us together.
Like we used to.
Like we used to.
Oh, I love you, Aggie. I love you more than sugary biscuits. Will you come to Abyssinia? Will you come? Will you come and surrender?
No, we're going nowhere.
If we all want to go.
Look at yourselves, will ya? Just look at yourselves. Dancing at our time of day. That's for young people with no duties and no responsibilities, and nothing in their heads but pleasure.
Well, Kate, I think
Do you
we should
want the whole countryside to be laughing at us? Women of our years, mature women, dancing. What's come over you all? This is Father Jack's home. We must never forget that, ever. No, we're going to no harvest dance.
What did you say?
And there'll be no more discussion about it. The matter's over. I don't want it mentioned again.
The fox is back.
Did you see him?
He has a whole chewed in the hen house door.
Did you get a good look at him, Aunt Maggie?
Wasn't I talking to him? He was asking for you.
Ha ha. What's that you have in your hands?
Something I found.
What?
Sitting very still at the foot of the holly tree.
Show me.
Say please 3 times.
Please, please, please.
In Swahili.
Are you going to show it to me or are you not?
Now come. Put your ear over here. Shh. Listen. Did you hear it?
I think so.
Oh, what did you hear?
Something.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Show me, Aunt Maggie.
All right, ready. Get back a bit. Bit further. Right.
Yes. What was it?
Oh, did you see it?
I think so. Yes.
Wasn't it wonderful?
Was it a bird?
The colors are so beautiful. Trouble is, just one quick glimpse, and that's all you ever get. And if you missed that,
What was it, Aunt Maggie?
oh, don't you know what it was? It was all in your mind. Now we're quits. Ha!
Tea, soap, Indian meal, jelly.
I'm tired of that white rooster of yours, Rosie. Some at that. Look at the lump he took out of my arms.
You don't speak to him
Oh,
right.
I know the speaking he'll get from me. The weight of my boot. Could you put some more turf on that fire, Chrissy? I'm going to make some soda bread.
Watch out. She isn't one for cranky moods.
Your 10 wild woodbine, Maggie.
Oh, great. The tongue's out a mile.
You missed it all, Maggie.
What did I miss this time?
We were all going to go to the harvest dance, like the old days. And then Kate.
Your shoes, Rose. The shoemaker says whatever kind of feet you have, only the insides of the soles wear down.
Is that a bad thing?
That is neither a bad thing nor a good thing, Rose. It's just distinctive, as might be expected. Corn flour, salt, tapioca. It's gone up a penny for some reason. Sugar for the bilberry jam, if we ever get the bilberries.
Look at this packet of wild woodbine she got me.
What's wrong with it?
Only 9 cigarettes in it. They're so wild. One of them must have escaped down there.
Doesn't Jack sometimes call you Okawa too, Maggie?
Yes. What does it mean?
Okawa was his houseboy, Kate says.
Damn it. I thought it was Swahili for gorgeous. That's the very thing we could do with here. A houseboy.
And the battery. The man in the shop says we go through these things quicker than anyone in Ballybeg.
Good for us.
I met the parish priest. I don't know what has happened to that man, but ever since Father Jack came home, he can hardly look me in the eye.
That's because you keep winking at him,
He
Kate.
was always moody, that man.
Maybe that's it. The paper, candles, matches. The word's not good on that young Sweeney boy from the back hills. He was anointed last night.
But you know he was dying.
Not an inch of his body that isn't burned.
Does anyone know what happened?
Some silly prank up in the hills. He knows he's dying. The poor boy just lies there moaning.
What sort of prank?
How would I know?
What are they saying in the town?
I know no more than I told you, Christina.
It was last Sunday week, the first night at the festival of Lughnasa. And they were doing what they do every year up there in the back hills.
Festival of Lughnasa.
First, they light a bonfire beside a spring well. Then, they dance round it. Then they drive their cattle through the flames to banish the devil out.
Banish the... You don't know the first thing
And
about
this
what
year,
you said.
there was an extra large crowd of boys and girls. And they were off their heads with drink. And young Sweeney's trousers caught fire. And he went up like a torch. That's what happened.
Who filled your head with that nonsense?
They do it every Lughnasa. I'm telling you,
And
that's
they're
what happened.
savages. I know those people from the back hills. I taught them. Savages, that's what they are. And what pagan practices they have are no concern of ours. None whatever. It's a sorry day to hear talk like that in a Christian home. A Catholic home. All I can say is that I am shocked and disappointed to hear you repeating rubbish like that, Rose.
That's what happened. I'm telling you.
All the same, it would be very handy in the wintertime to have a wee houseboy to feed the hens.
Boy, I beg your pardon. The wrong apartment. Forgive me.
Oh, come in and join us, Jack.
May I?
You're looking well, Jack.
Yes. I expected to enter my bedroom through that. What I am missing, what I require. I had a handkerchief in my pocket.
Here's a
and
handkerchief.
I thank you. I am It is so strange. I don't remember the architecture. The planning. What's the word? The layout. I don't recollect the layout of this home, scarcely. I thought the front door was there. That's so strange. You've walked to the village to get stores, Agnes.
It's Kate. And dozens of people were asking for you.
They remember me.
Of course they remember you. And when you're feeling stronger, they're going to have a great public welcome for you. Flags, bands, speeches, everything.
But why would they do this?
Because they're delighted you're back.
Yes.
Because they're delighted you're home.
I'm afraid I don't remember any of them. I don't think I could name 10 people in Ballybeg now.
It'll all come back to you. Don't worry.
You think so?
Yes, it will.
Perhaps. I feel the climate so cold. If you'll forgive me,
Why don't you go and lie down for a while?
I may do that. Thank you. You're so very kind.
It will be a slow process, but he'll be fine. Apples, butter, margarine, flour. Oh, and wait till you hear. Who did I meet in the post office? Maggie, are you listening to me?
Yes.
You'll never believe it. Your old pal, Bernie O'Donnell. Home from London. First time back in 20 years.
Bernie.
Absolutely gorgeous. The figure of a girl of 18. Dressed to kill from head to foot. And the hair as black and as curly as the day she left. I can't tell you, a film star.
Bernie O'Donnell.
And beside her, two of the most beautiful children you ever laid eyes on. Twins. They'll be 14 next month. To see the three of them together. Like sisters, I'm telling you.
Twin girls.
Identical.
Identical.
Nora and Nina.
Mother used to say twins were a double blessing.
Bernie O'Donnell. Oh my goodness.
And, wait till you hear, they are pure blonde. Where in the name of God did the blonde hair come from, I asked her. The father, Eric, she says. He's from Stockholm.
Stockholm? Where's Stockholm, Maggie?
So there you are, Bernie O'Donnell, married to a Swede. I couldn't believe my eyes. But the same bubbly, laughing, happy Bernie, asking about everybody by name.
She remembered us all.
Knew all about Michael, had his age to the very month. Was Agnes still the quickest knitter in Ballybeg? Were none of us thinking of getting married, and weren't we wise?
Did she remember me?
Rose had the sweetest smile I ever saw.
There.
But asking specially for you, Maggie, how you were doing, what you were doing, how you were looking. Were you as lighthearted as ever? Every time she thinks of you, she says she has the memory of the two of you hiding behind the turf stack, passing a cigarette between you, and falling about laughing about some boy called, what was it? Curly somebody?
Curly McDade. An idiot of a fella. Bald as an egg at 17. Bernie O'Donnell. Oh my goodness.
Well, she'll be around for a while.
Leaving tomorrow.
I won't see her, so that's a pity.
Nice names though, aren't they? Nina and Nora.
I like Nora, strong name, nice name.
Not too sure about Nina. Do you like Nina for a name?
Nina. No, not a lot.
Well, if there's a Saint Nina, I'm afraid she's not in my prayer book.
Maybe she's a Swedish saint.
Saints in Sweden. What will it be next?
Mother used to say twins are a double blessing.
You offered us that cheap wisdom already, Rose.
You have some flour on your nose, Maggie.
When I was 16, I remember slipping out one Sunday night. It was this time of year, the beginning of August. And Bernie and I met at the gate of the workhouse, and the pair of us off to a dance in Ardstraw. I was being pestered by a fellow called Tim Carlin at the time. But it was really Brian McInnes that I was keen on. Remember Brian? With the white hands and the longest eyelashes you ever saw. But of course, he was crazy about Bernie. Anyhow, the two boys took us on the bar of their bikes and off the four of us headed to Ardstraw, 15 miles each way. If Daddy had known, may he rest in peace. At the end of the night, there was a competition for the best military two-step, and it was down to 3 couples. The local pair from Ardstraw, wee Timmy and myself. God, he was up to there on me. And Brian and Bernie. They were so beautiful together. So stylish. You couldn't take your eyes off them. Everyone just stopped dancing and gazed at them. And when the judges announced the winners, they were probably blind drunk. You know, naturally, the local couple came first. We, Timmy and myself, came second, and Brian and Bernie came third. Poor Bernie was stunned. She couldn't believe it. Couldn't talk. Wouldn't speak to any of us for the rest of the night. Wouldn't even cycle home with us. She was right, too. They should have won. They were just so beautiful together. That was the last time I saw Brian McGuinness. Remember Brian? With the... The next thing I heard, he had left for Australia. She was right to be angry, Bernie. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair at all. I mean, they must have been blind drunk, those judges, whoever they were.
Is it working now, Christina?
What's that?
Marconi. Marconi.
Yes, should be. Pete?
Because it's a goddamn bloody useless set, that's why. Goddamn bloody useless.
Are Wellingtons absolutely necessary on a day like this, Rose?
I've only been Wellingtons in me Sunday shoes, Kate. And it's not Sunday, is it?
Oh dear, we're suddenly very logical, aren't we?
I'll tell you something, girls. This Ginger Rogers has seen better days.
Those cigarettes are killing you.
Wonderful wild woodbine. Next best thing to a wonderful wild man. Want a drag, Kitty?
Go and wash your face, Maggie. And for goodness sake, tie those laces.
Yes, miss. Where's Michael at, Chrissy?
Working out those kites, isn't he?
He's not there. He's gone.
He won't go far.
He was there 10 minutes ago.
He'll be all right.
What if he goes down to the old
Just
well?
hold it over once, will you? Please.
Who's making the tea this evening?
Who makes the tea every evening? The connection seems to be all right.
Please take that surplice off,
Maybe the
Christina.
outfit's gone. But it would have looked like.
Have you no sense of propriety?
If you ask me, we should just throw it out. I'd be all for that. It's junk that's set.
Goddamn bloody useless.
And you'll buy a new one, will you?
She's never any good.
You'll buy it out of your glove money, will you? I thought what you and Rosa earned knitting gloves was barely sufficient to clothe the pair of you.
This isn't your classroom, Kate.
Because I certainly don't see any of it being offered for the upkeep of the house.
Please, Kate.
So now it stretches to buying a new wireless. Wonderful.
I make every meal you sit down to every day of the week.
Maybe I should start knitting gloves.
Oh, I watch